Next up, supply side. We also did this, obviously. Supply side solves everything. That's my quote on here. So the monetarist argument, which you don't know much about yet, there are no conflicts with free market supply side economics. So if you're a monetarist with free market economics, you believe you solve all of your problems. It's a little bit simplistic, but you need to know the arguments. Remember the macro objectives: price stability, full employment, economic growth, and balance of payments equilibrium. Right, so remember Liz Truss, when she was Prime Minister for 44 days, she made a famous speech to the Tory party conference where she goes, it's all about growth, growth, growth. Okay, as you get growth, then we all become wealthier. Okay, think corporation tax. So Liz Truss is very keen to reduce corporation tax from 90%, which it was then. This means more investment. Remember in Ireland it's 12.5%, more investment, kiss off the multiple accelerator. Got the Laffer curve argument in there. Lower corporation tax, more taxation revenue, improves all of the macro objectives. Why? Investment improves price stability because we become more efficient at producing things. Full employment because the AS curve goes out, and if the AS curve goes out, we can run the economy at high levels of demand. And economic growth because if we can shift out the S curve, we can run the economy at high levels of demand. I'll just draw that on here very quickly. So if the AS curve shifts out here, we can increase demand without getting demand pull inflation. Think about it. And it also improves the balance of payments because we invest more money, we become more efficient, therefore we can sell more goods. Okay, so the free market economics is lowering income and corporation tax, 0-hour contracts, reducing the power of the trade unions, deregulation and privatisation. It's all about increasing labour market flexibility. Okay, so I think this is still 4. Okay, supply side economics, remember it is free market, so I dropped my pen, and also interventionist. So if you increase G, which is what we're going to talk about now, so this is the free market model, this is the interventionist model. If you increase G, so in a green revolution, it will increase productive capacity, and it will also lead to a rise in AD as well. A rise in AD because the multiple accelerator, because the government will be spending more money, so green revolution, spending £300 billion on a green infrastructure, we spend money on roads and rail, or we spend money on education, on electric car batteries. Right, this will all shift out AS hopefully and AD. And if it does shift out AS curve, if it does, then this is a fantastic policy, obviously, because as we go from here to here, obviously we've got loads of economic growth. Professor Mariana Mazzucato, she talks about it's a guide to the economy. It's like an industrial policy, and the industrial policy will lead to a rise in economic growth. So she believes that we can achieve this. We pick out the main issues like a green revolution, and everything will then be okay. And then the private sector money will come in. Whoops. Okay, supply side economics, call it the cage. Don't, in an exam, call it the cage argument. Increasing G, multiple accelerator, 300 billion quid spent, times that by 2.2, 640 billion. No, 720 billion. 720 billion pounds. Pushes out the AS curve. Cheaper energy, we think, at the height of the oil price. Green energy would be 1/10 of the price. We get non-inflationary growth. Half of the European wind goes through the UK. It attracts FDI to the UK, reduces cost push inflation. Right, remember this diagram on here we saw in video 1 of this series. The SRS will then shift to the right. However, there will be crowding out, and there could also be government failure if this didn't work out, which there would be government failure. If it did work, there'd be crowding in because loads of money will come into the UK economy, loads of private sector firms will invest, the banks will have more money in their accounts to lend out. So this is an example of intervention supply side. We can say, yes, it works, or no, it doesn't work. But this is what intervention supply side is all about. Okay,